been paying attention to the news, you may have noticed a lot of headlines containing the words brokered convention in regards to the Republican presidential race. And if you were like most people, those words mean nothing to you, but they have some candidates so angry they're threatening to leave their party and run independently. So what is a brokered convention? To explain that, first we're going to have to talk about delegates. When you cast your vote in the state's primary or caucus, your vote doesn't go directly to the candidate. Instead, they go to a delegate, some of whom are bound to cast a vote representing the outcome of the primary race in their state, and some of whom aren't bound and can vote for whoever they want. After the presidential primaries and caucuses are over, political parties host a convention where the bound and unbound delegates meet. All the delegates cast their ballots, with the bound delegates voting for who their state elections told them to vote for, and the unbound delegates voting for whoever they want. Now, on paper, that sounds like a boring day of voting and tallying, but in practice, it's usually just a big party, because one candidate already has the 51% of the delegate votes needed to become the nominee before the convention even starts, and the other candidates have already conceded the race. But what happens if you have 4 or 5 candidates, each with less than 30% of the total vote when the convention starts? Then you have a brokered convention. Basically, a first vote will be held, all the delegates who are bound to vote for a specific candidate cast their ballots, but after no majority is reached, all those delegates are officially unbound. They can now vote for whoever they want. And that makes a lot of people angry because instead of the nominee being selected by voters, it's being chosen by political power brokers and backroom deals. And it can lead to some strange situations. Let's say you've got a candidate that's leading the polls among voters, but who the party establishment isn't super thrilled about. Since we're talking hypothetically, let's just call him Donald Trump. It's conceivable that even if Donald Trump has the most votes going into the convention, he can lose out in the negotiations and a candidate that's a little more party-friendly can get the nomination. But will that happen? Probably not. While there are headlines saying the Republican top brass are getting prepared for a brokered convention, similar headlines pop up during every presidential election. In 2012, they were predicting the same thing for the Republicans. In 2008, it was predicted for the Democrats. But in reality, neither party has had a brokered convention in over 60 years. It's just a fun thought experiment for pundits and political nerds to have early in an election cycle while the field is still crowded with candidates. But it could happen, but it probably won't. But it could. But again, probably not. I'm Jonathan Sobolewski for AL.com.